Hey guys, welcome to a review of Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 3.
Within its pages are passages that can send you back to your time.
Forewarned by a wise man.
You must recite the words Klaatu, Berata, Nikto.
I got it!
Fulfilled by a wise guy.
Klaatu, Barada. When thou misspoke the words, the army of the dead awoke.
Now he's got a date
Give me some sugar, baby.
with the Army of Darkness.
You found me beautiful once.
Honey, you got real ugly.
Sound the trumpets. Raise the drawbridge. Drop the Oldsmobile. From Sam Raimi,
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
director of Darkman, comes Army of Darkness.
Okay, so if you don't know, Army of Darkness is Evil Dead 3, and it was called that because I don't know. It was supposed to be called Medieval Dead because it takes place in medieval times and shit like that. But I gotta say, of the three I watched, I enjoyed this one the least. It's still a good Evil Dead movie, but it's more action than horror, like a horror movie. Like the first one is definitely the most straightforward horror. It has basically almost no comedy in it. The second one has some comedy with Ash, but it still has those horror elements to it. But this one has no horror elements in it, pretty much. This one's pretty much an action comedy with some horror elements in it. So, the things I did like about this movie were the tone. The tone of it wasn't like bad or anything, per se, but I liked it because it was cool to see Ash Williams, because it's the first time seeing this one, in this kind of more in the medieval times, because in 2 they kind of showed a picture with him in the medieval times. It was good to see that as a story. It was really fun. I'm just going to say it was a fun movie to watch. It was fun. It isn't the best in the series, but I would say it should be funnier than Evil Dead 2, but I laughed more at Evil Dead 2 because I don't know why I laughed more at Evil Dead 2. It was more dark, and the comedy provided the light for that movie, and I liked what that. But this one, Bruce Campbell just gave it his all, and he was still hilarious in this movie. Bruce Campbell's performance, as usual, was great. He did good, like he did in the previous 2 movies. He's basically one of the main parts of this franchise and why it's fantastic, on why it's like seen as one of the best cult classic horror movies. Like these 3 movies, they didn't do big at the box offices. Like they didn't make crazy amounts of money, but due to the fact that horror fans love them, they're regarded as huge movies. This one is fantastic, and I'm not trying to say this one is the one out of all of them, but it's not as good as 2, but not as scary as 1. Like it's not as funny as 2, not as scary as 1. None of them are scary as 1. I haven't seen the remake yet, and I'm not covering that one, and all that. So a lot of the positives are that the movie was funny. And the action was really good too. The fact that it was not with Deadites. Like they technically were Deadites, but they were more the fact that they were skeletons. They were skellies. And the skeletons were funny. Some of their dialogue was hilarious. That was a great thing to see. And of course, it has one of those legendary lines.
Listen up. See this? This is my boomstick. It's a 12-gauge double-barreled Remington. S-Mart's top of the line. You can find this in the sporting goods department. That's right, this sweet baby was made in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Retails for about $109.95. It's got a walnut stock, cobalt blue steel, and a hair trigger. That's right. Shop smart. Shop S-Mart.
So, one thing I gotta really say about this movie is the ending of Evil Dead 2 and the beginning of Army of the Darkness don't connect perfectly. They both, like Evil Dead 2 starts off with Ash in medieval times, and Army of Darkness starts off with Ash in medieval times. But the end of Army of Darkness, the knights and the people of the medieval time are praising Ash. And they're saying that, oh, he's going to save them, because it shows in the Necronomicon in part 2 that it shows someone who is dressed identically to Ash with the chainsaw as a hand and the shotgun comes and helps him from the Deadites. But in part 2, it starts off with that clip. No, part 2, no. In Army of Darkness, it starts off with a clip of Ash and the Oldsmobile falling down, hitting the ground. Soldiers come in and they say, no, he's a bad guy. Take him away. And then the whole pit scene happens, and then he proves himself worthy by killing 2 Deadites. So that's what happens in this movie, and it feels very weird. The fact is, but also in Evil Dead, I'm gonna say one thing: the movies are like, they break so many continuities from the other movies. It's just, you gotta accept it. I will tell you that. When you watch Evil Dead, just accept the shit, and it's just gonna be the norm for the Evil Dead franchise. And I have to talk about the ending here, because there's technically 2 endings to the movie. There's the ending where they read the Necronomicon, send it back, but Ash, instead of waking up, he sleeps too long, and when he wakes up, it's the post-apocalyptic London that you see. So the Deadites took over and shit. You see that ending. That ending feels cool, but it's kind of depressing. But the ending they use in the actual movie is he just gets sent back. He's working back at his job at S-Mart. He's going back to his normal life. He's telling people his story about what happened in Evil Dead 1, 2, and 3. He's telling them all that story. And then the Deadites come back, and it more kind of leads into, I think it kind of more leads into the TV show, Ash vs. Evil Dead, which I want to watch because it's on Netflix. And I might review it. I might just watch this season and say, oh, this season was good, and this season was good, and stuff I don't like. Okay. That's what I might do, or an episode review on that show. So the next thing I gotta say is of course, camera, great. Everything about this movie is great. It's just a goofy movie, but like, there's really nothing wrong to say about it, because you can't really say anything wrong about it, because there truly isn't. Some people that love Evil Dead 1 are gonna say, I didn't like it because it had goofy elements. And that's totally fine, because some of the goofy elements may feel too far-fetched to people. Because some of those felt, okay, yeah, it's hilarious, but it didn't feel like Evil Dead. This movie is still fun, and it's still great to watch, but I'm not going to judge it for that, based on alone. The way it's made, the way it looks, the way it feels, those are all perfect and fantastic elements and amazing elements of the movie. But it's Evil Dead elements, and the ways they are doing the Evil Dead elements are not that great. Ash kills many Deadites with a gun. That was not an effective way to kill them. The way you have to kill a Deadite was chop its limbs off, and it would die. But not in this movie, because he killed one by cutting its head off. Made sense, like cutting it apart. He killed one by shooting it many times with a shotgun, which didn't make sense, which is the one... Excuse me. He killed a she-bitch. He killed that one with a shotgun, and then he killed the one and the and S-Mart with a repeater rifle, which didn't make sense either, because it wouldn't have died. You would have just kind of pissed it off. So if he pulled out like a sword or something, or like a chainsaw, and he chop all those off, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But this is stuff that was introduced in Evil Dead 1, which they contradicted. That's the only problem I truly have with this movie, is the contradictions to the original 2 Evil Deads. I can't say much about the gore, because there's basically none in here. I think the funniest moment in the movie is this, and that's a huge topic change right there. But the funniest moment in the movie is the scene when Ash goes into the Necronomicon temple, I can't give it glory by talking about it. I just have to show you it.
Klaatu, Barada, necktie, nectar, nickel. Noodle. It's an N-word. It's definitely an N-word. It's definitely an N-word. Klaatu, Barada, Okay then. That's it.
So if you think of the whole movie in that scene, technically the reason why the Deadites attack is because of Ash, and because he's a fucking idiot, and he didn't know the words, which were Vrata. I forgot them too. But the thing was, like, he forgot them, but then the army of the dead come, and then he causes people's death, and they're totally fine with it, which when I was watching the movie, I was like, this motherfucker caused the death of tons of soldiers, and no one's batting a fucking eye. He is one of the most unlucky heroes that I ever saw in a fucking movie, but his character is so perfect, and the comedic genius of fucking Sam Raimi's writing was amazing in this movie. So I have to wrap it up there, and I hope you guys enjoyed this movie review, and I give this movie a 3.5 out of 5. I have to give you 3.5 because this movie was going to get a 3, but of its comedic elements and the fact that it's just awesome, it gets a 3 out of 5. It doesn't get quite a 4 because I wish they combined the fucking crazy gore of the original into this movie, and you could have went full out wild, like not gross out, but just stupidly over gore. It's like, geez, you didn't have to go like that. They could have done something like that. I would have loved it. But other than that, this movie's funny. It's great. It's a good watch. Just see Army of Darkness. It's fantastic.
Groovy.